What is up, everybody? I think this is the fourth episode, if I'm not mistaken, of the Rolling Insights Hockey Show. So great to be back with you guys. What a week in the NHL it was this week past. I mean, there's always stuff to get to. I mentioned here in the description, we're going to get into the Leafs again. We have to. They're my favorite team. We're going to talk Leafs, obviously. We're going to talk Flames because that's where I live. Um, and we're going to talk a few other teams that have kind of come back down to earth and ones that make sense, ones that I could see maybe still bouncing back and making a run here. We're also going to talk some stars, some players that are really kind of taking things over stats wise, some contracts. We'll look at free agents. We got a lot to get to, which is super exciting. Good to be back. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I know it's almost 5:45 on the East Coast, so we're a little bit behind here, but just thrilled to be with you guys on a Monday afternoon talking hockey. You guys can get in the comments here if you want to as well. Let me know if there's anything that's on your guys' minds to talk about. We will bring it up. Any fantasy questions, obviously, we can dive into some sport-wise stuff with Rolling Insights. Obviously, that's why we're here. We're here because of Rolling Insights, and we're very thankful that they're supporting us and giving us a platform to chat hockey. But let's dive right into it. I want to talk about the games tonight. Let's get right into it since that's where we'll start. Once again, we stream on Mondays, which is always funny because it's the lowest. There's never usually that many games on a Monday. It's never a loaded schedule. I think tonight we have probably the most we've had on a Monday in a long time. We have 6 games tonight, which is quite a bit. Which is it's good. And some good games tonight we will be watching. Let's get right into it. I'm going to pull up the unabated odds and welcome to the unabated odds section here. So what we've got here, starting off Edmonton, Buffalo. This is in Buffalo. Obviously the Oilers are favored as a road team too. Being favored is not necessarily surprising considering where the Oilers are, but surprising considering that Buffalo's been playing decent hockey. Not great, obviously. But they did go on a little bit of a run there and kind of bounce back in the standings. They're still ahead of or just behind the Leafs. The worst team in the Eastern Conference right now, which is tough to say, but not surprising. I do think the Oilers will win this game. If there's anything to it, I would say money line is probably your best bet. Maybe -1.5 if you really want to get fancy with it. Stuart Skinner starts for the Oilers, I believe, for Buffalo. I don't think it's Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen tonight. I believe we actually have. Oh, maybe it is. Thought it was Colton Ellis, and it is. So Colton Ellis is starting tonight. Looks like for Buffalo. We'll see. Obviously, when the lineups come out, they should be out soon. Colton Ellis looks to get a start. Stuart Skinner in net for the Oilers. Obviously, the Oilers. Key to beating them is just keep them off the power play, and that's not super likely to happen. They are such a fast team; they create a lot of their advantages there. Other game: Hurricanes and Bruins. A matchup of division leaders, which is crazy to say. Not about the Carolina Hurricanes. They're actually not leading the division, but the Boston Bruins are leading the division. Up on Detroit and Montreal. Carolina's 2 points back of New Jersey. We'll get into that Jack Hughes injury as well. That is something that we need to talk about. Carolina, Boston. Boston's looking pretty good right now. They are 8-2-0 in their last 10. But not a great team on the road. They're below 500, which is to be expected. But good thing it's a home game for them. They usually play better at the TD Garden. This is a weird one, though. Leading goal scorer for the Boston Bruins is not David Pastrnak for like the first time in years. David Pastrnak does not lead this team in goals. It's Morgan Geekie, who's got already close to, I mean, he's going to hit a career high by before Christmas for sure. I mean, this guy's on fire. Anything there? Aho's on fire for Carolina. Svechnikov's also had quite a few goals in the recent games. I would take Svechnikov anytime goal or Aho over a point or over 0.5 points. He could get a point easy. Pastrnak would be the other guy, but if anything, I mean, Carolina to win would be the other one. So Carolina, Edmonton probably is your likely pick right now. Then we got Vancouver in Florida. A lot of West Coast teams out on the East Coast, which is nice to see. Love those trips for the Westerners. They get to see their teams play a little bit earlier. The East Coast actually gets to see the West Coast teams play or the Western teams play, which is always nice. Yeah, Vancouver, Florida. With the Demko injury, I think this team, also the Quinn Hughes injury, this Vancouver team probably won't make any noise. They need those guys to step up. They need them to be there in order to really do anything. So I would say Florida probably to win that game. Florida's playing a lot better. Tkachuk is apparently going to start skating soon. That's good news on the injury front. Barkov's still obviously not going to come back. I would take a Brad Marchand goal in that one. Brad Marchand loves playing the Canucks back to his Bruins days when they played him in the Cup final. I would take a Brad Marchand anytime goal in that one. Honestly, that would be my pick. Los Angeles and Washington. The return of Darcy Kemper revenge game, I guess you could call it, for Los Angeles. They also were in the news though recently. Adrian Kempe re-signed 8 years, I believe around 10 mil a year. The free agency class for 2026 has really taken a hit. I mean, it started with like McDavid, Kaprizov, Eichel, obviously. It had some massive names. And now we're looking at like Panarin being number one. And then like Nick Schmaltz is probably like the next guy you're looking at. There's just not Kyle Connor side. There's just not a lot of big names anymore. But good for the Kings locking up Kempe. He's a stud for them. So that's a good signing. Good value too. I mean, he'll outplay that contract, I would say, as the cap rises. But LA Washington tonight in the nation's capital. Don't really have anything for that game. Both those teams are kind of unpredictable, I would say, right now. And then Montreal's in Columbus. I think it's being billed right now as the Hudson versus Werenski game. Two of the best young defensemen. Hudson, obviously younger than Werenski, but not by a ton. Montreal is slipping a little bit. A topic I wanted to get into with a bunch of other teams, but we'll finish out the night too. Nightcap, Utah and Anaheim, Ducks and Mammoth. Ducks were leading the Pacific. I don't think they are anymore. They've kind of come back down to earth a little bit, as some other teams have. And the LA Kings, who were like last in the division, or ahead of obviously Calgary and San Jose, but lower in the division, they've really made a comeback. 7-2-1 in their last 10, away from the Staples Center or Crypto.com Arena, I guess now. They are 9-1-2 away from home. The best road record in the NHL right now. Pretty impressive stuff from them. They look like they're back to like who they were last year. And I didn't really think they would regain that form. Still though, LA, Anaheim, Seattle as your top three in the Pacific is kind of wild considering what Vegas did this offseason, considering what Edmonton usually is. Not really surprising with Calgary and San Jose. San Jose is making a bit of a run. 6-3-1 in their last 10. They've had some soft matchups. They got shut out to Calgary this last week. Those are the games tonight. I'll take Utah on the road in that one to win that game. I'll take them on the money line. Should be a fun one still though. Utah and Anaheim, two young teams that are pretty exciting here. Um, but yeah, let's get into standings wise here. We talked about Boston, how they're leading the Atlantic Division. Um, Montreal was leading it for the longest time, and it was almost like not smoke and mirrors because I don't want to say they were, they're not a good hockey team. They definitely are a good hockey team, but the slip back to earth, losing three in a row, some injuries. Obviously, Liney's out, which is like, of course he is. He's always out. Um, the depth being tested, Dobish not playing very well, Montembeault not playing very well. A lot of things there are kind of starting to add up for Montreal, and they're slipping. And this is like what we talked about, their need for that second line center. Nazem Kadri, like, this is the guy they need to pull the trigger on. They have so many prospects. Trade like anybody, like Haig, Reinbacher. Like they have guys in the system. Even Jacob Fowler. Calgary's probably not interested in Fowler just because they have Wolf already. But like that just feels like a team that's got to pull the trigger on a center. Um, Obviously, like they want to keep it somewhat young, build for the future. They don't need to pull the trigger right now. I think they're ahead of where they thought they would be, but they are slipping a little bit. Playing 500 hockey in their last 10, lost three in a row, sliding down. The other team that's come back to earth would kind of, I mean, in a sense, be Anaheim. Loses of three in a row after they won seven in a row, I think, or something like that. Those teams are starting to level out a little bit, and like LA's starting to rise. Edmonton's playing some better hockey lately. The balance of the league, where we were like, oh my goodness, there's so many teams above 500. There's so many competitive hockey teams. The balance is starting to come back, where the good teams are starting to be good again. The one exception seems to be the Toronto Maple Leafs. They are playing terrible. For anybody who's actually watched the Leafs in the last week, I apologize to you because you shouldn't have. They're not a team worth watching right now. It's pretty bad to watch, and I don't know whether to blame it on coaching. Injuries playing a big part. I mean, if you look at the injury report for the Leafs right now, I mean, Troy Stecher, they just claimed off waivers. I don't think if they're fully healthy, I don't think that's a move that they make. But like the injury report right now, let's see if we can find the injury report. It's pretty loaded. Right now on the injury report, we've got Chris Tanev out, Brandon Carlo out, Austin Matthews out, Scott Laughton out. Up front, obviously they just called up Jacob Quillen. He made his debut last year, if you remember, got knee on knee, or kind of went knee on knee with Nick Cousins in Ottawa, which is of course he did. I don't think they make the move for Stecher if they're healthy. Obviously, the biggest one that's missing is Chris Tanev. We're not sure when he's going to come back. Concussion is kind of like you never really know when they're going to come back. So I don't want to, like, they're not going to put a timeline on it, and I don't think they should put a timeline on it. But it is like somewhat like make or break time for the Toronto Maple Leafs right now. They are sliding. They are sitting right now second last in the Eastern Conference with 18 points, tied with Washington, 1 point behind Florida at 8, 9, and 2. They've lost one in a row, but they're 4, 5, and 1 in their last 10. Away from Scotiabank, they are 1 and 5. They've won one game on the road this year, which is surprising. Last year they were a pretty good road team, a better home team, obviously, but Troy Stecher makes a difference. For anybody who watched the game against Chicago Saturday night, the one thing you probably noticed is Philippe Myers is on the ice for pretty much every goal against. And I think a lot of the team's sick of it. I think you could see the reaction from Jake McCabe, just being like, this is ridiculous. How is this guy even out here anymore? He's just not, I think he's better than what he's showing, but he's not good enough to be on this roster. He needs to be in the AHL, get some time back, get some confidence back, come back up. I do like Troy Stecher, though. I think he's more mobile than people give him credit for. I think he just got pushed out by younger guys in Edmonton. Not to say Edmonton's D-core is amazing. But right now, it's better than the Leafs by a long shot. Way better than the Leafs. So interesting to see if the Leafs can bounce back this week. They do have St. Louis tomorrow. That'll be a big game for them. Craig Berube kind of revenge game, and then Columbus on Thursday, and then I believe it's Montreal actually on Saturday. So should be interesting to see there. But we'll see. We'll see what keeps happening. They need to bounce back this week. We'll see if they can do it. There was rumors this week of a trade with Calgary for Rasmus Andersson. Once again, like I don't know if that helps them that much. Rasmus Andersson is a minus 36 over his last 60 games or something like that. That doesn't help them. Like it doesn't help them what they need. Calgary needs to get rid of Rasmus Andersson. Definitely, they need to find somebody to take him. Not for anything else other than just like the necessary. You're falling behind in the standings. You're almost in last place. You are in last place. Your goal should be to get McKenna or whoever you feel like is going to be first overall. That should be your goal. And doing that, you just are trying to get as many first round picks as you can. Shipping off Rasmus Andersson really does start that in a good way. Calgary need to start shipping off guys like ASAP. It's not looking good for them. But yeah, I mean, it's where I think most people maybe thought they would be last year. Definitely where I thought they would be last year. But they just had Dustin Wolf went off last year. I don't think he's playing bad. I think Dustin Wolf's actually having a really good year. They just aren't scoring. He had a shutout the other night against San Jose, and I think it was 2-0. They just can't score. They're just not there. So we'll see what happens with them. Other thing we want to get to, or I wanted to talk about, was this Jack Hughes situation, and kind of the talk around him not being like injury prone is the wrong word. Because he's not. I don't want to say injury prone, but like he cut his hand. So like obviously this isn't like something that is it really under hockey, the sphere of hockey injuries. But the fact that he's going to have surgery, they don't know how long he's going to be out. This is huge. This is he's the best 100-point player that's never hit 100 points. We talk about it all every year, how they need to do something with him. And it is almost like wrap this guy in bubble wrap till the playoffs so you can actually have him in the playoffs, because he's just not there. And he was having a decent start to the year. I mean, so was New Jersey. New Jersey's still leading the Metro Division. We talked about it last week. Keep talking about it. Bedard and Celebrini deserve to be on this Olympic team. I know that the rosters, I think, if I'm correct, the rosters for the Olympic teams have to be in December. Let's see. I believe it's first week of December they have to be in. Oh, December 31st they have to be in. So we still got like a month and a half. I'm going to say they make it. Both probably make it. I don't know if both are on the ice all the time, but like, how can you deny how good they're doing? You can't. They are both going crazy right now. They're top 5 in the league. They're doing something that I didn't think that they would do. I thought Celebrini might have it in him, but Bedard's showing up in a big way right now. And Chicago's benefiting from it. I mean, Spencer Knight's playing huge for them, but Connor Bedard is really the train that's dragging them into the fight right now and winning games. I know they beat a banged up Leafs team, but capitalizing on that is huge. I think that they deserve it to be on the Olympic team. Yeah, that's it for me today, guys. Honestly, it was a quick one. Good to go through some things. Beer League update. We had a game since the most recent stream, another win. I wasn't there. Still working on those Steve highlights. We'll get those out eventually. We will get a filming crew or somebody to film a game one time. We'll break down some film. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Till next week. Enjoy. Bet responsibly. Hopefully, you guys win some money this week. And we'll see you guys next week.